Heaven it's Abla, and today I wanted to talk about romanticizing, the over romanticization of reality. So we have our reality, one reality, and then we have a bunch of different realities created in a singular person's minds due to romanticization. So persons romanticize certain things, which lead them to create a false sense of reality in their minds, and it makes it difficult to exist in true reality when you romanticize things, when you over romanticize things. So I believe this is perpetuated a lot by the media, things we see on the television growing up, Disney, the whole Disney fantasy things, things we read, things we misinterpret, even from seeing in our actual reality that we misinterpret, like things that cause jealousy. Jealousy is caused by romanticizing something that you shouldn't really romanticize, because you see something, you might over represent it in your mind, and you become jealous of that thing. And that comes from romanticizing something you don't have, and it makes you want to have that. And it alters your perception as well. So when you romanticize things, especially in this sort of spiritual community, that is on the internet, it seems like everything spiritual is like yoga and peace and butterflies and just sunshine and just light, right? Persons romanticize spirituality to be light only, when in reality, is there light without dark? And dark is perceived to be negative, but dark doesn't have to be negative. And I'm speaking about light in the sense, the perception, the seeing of light, not the feeling of lightness, because we must always feel light, we must always be light. But there is juxtaposition to light. There's shadow work, and you have to really, there's that quote that says, no tree can grow up to heaven if its roots don't reach down to hell, quote unquote hell. Obviously it's using that perception of heaven in the sky and hell underground, like pits of hell. But it's true, it's important to recognize reality and not just see only one half of the picture. Life is not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to have, there's going to be hard work. Even spiritual journey, spirituality is hard work. It's not just sea moss and smoothies and sunshine. Although that is a beautiful part of it. And even myself, I can recognize that. And I recognize the lightness because I've seen the dark. I've seen the work it takes to go from being in the system, having your mind in the system, and completely crumbling and completely breaking that identity down. That is a very, I'll use the word dark. It's a moment of darkness when you are completely stripping yourself of everything you've known, everything you've seen, everything you've been shown, your family, that your biological family, your family that raised you, everything they have shown you, everything they know, who they are to you. It's not easy at all. It's simple, but it is very, very, very hard. So when you over romanticize things like spirituality, or over romanticize relationships and things, then you kind of skim over how hard things can be. And then when you actually get to something that's hard, you don't want to deal with it, because you have romanticized spirituality. You've romanticized and created this reality that makes it seem like anything hard is wrong, and everything that is easy is the right path, because life should be easy, you think. But really, life is hard. Some things are hard. They're simple, but they are hard. It's tough. So, for example, you could enter a spiritual community, or you're going through your spirituality and you want to grow community. You want to grow a relationship, say. You have an idea of marriage in your mind from the world. The world, like I said before, is very tricky. It plants these little tiny seeds, little tiny ideas in your mind, programs, congrams. It plants congrams in your mind that alters your perception. So you have this perception of, say, marriage in your mind, and you over romanticize marriage because you grew up watching Disney, and you were on social media, scrolling through social media, seeing all those relationship accounts, relationship goals, how all these perceptions about males and how they should provide and money and things like that, about females, how we should be, and you over romanticize false ideals. So you're over romanticizing false ideas, and it prevents you from existing, because you're not existing in reality. You're existing in a false reality you've created in your mind. And so once you reach something difficult, say in your marriage, relationship, or anything, you're like, nope, that's wrong, because life is not hard. Life is easy. So I'm not going to deal with that. I'm going to go to the you're just gonna, because of your wrong perception, you're over romanticizing things, you're not gonna try and deal with anything that's hard. You're gonna want everything to be easy. And when something is hard, you're gonna want to give up. And when things are easy, you want to go towards those things. But the easy things are confusing things. Those things we see on social media, TV, that's confusion. That's brought to you by the author of confusion. That's pure confusion. Things that are easy, the easy path, that everyone takes, it's just pure confusion. The things that are hard to do, but they're very simple, those are the things we need to do. And you can't over romanticize reality, because it prevents you from going through hardships, because you will believe that hardships equal negativity. Hardships do not equal negativity. But when you are romanticizing things, obviously anything hard is not ideal for you, because everything needs to be sunshine and butterflies and lights, and joy. Everything is joy. Even in hardships, we have joy. So, yes. Just wanted to say that. I get a little shy when people walk by. Yeah, so romanticizing sisterhood, you will think that it's supposed to be braiding each other's hair and painting nails or whatever they do in the world. I don't know. And you're not going to realize sisterhood is hard. Especially growing up, you're going to feel what your sisters are feeling, see what they're like. It's hard growing up together. It's hard. It's not easy. It's not going to be yoga every morning, every rising together. It's not going to be those things of the world. It will be, but it's also going to be hardships, and the hardships bring you closer together. But you need to make sure you don't romanticize. When you romanticize something like sisterhood, then you have a challenge with the sister, or you see her going through a struggle, you're not going to want to deal with that. You're going to equate that to negativity immediately, and you're not going to want to deal with that. Pause. Well, I hope my point is getting across, that when you over romanticize things, it prevents you from existing in reality. It prevents you from going through hardships, which really strengthen you. It prevents you from seeing confusion. It leads you towards confusion, because you will want everything to be easy when everything is romanticized in your mind. You will want everything to be easy. You will not want to go through any shadows. You will not want to go through anything, much of anything. You will want everything to be easy. And that easy path, like I said, is a path of confusion, because it's a path that most people will gravitate towards. So it's important to exist in reality, And reality has a lot of juxtaposition, you know. Hard is simple, and even in our hardships, we must have joy. And I'm not saying to not have these joyful things in your life, you know, things that are enjoyable and light and fun. I'm not saying to not have that, but I'm saying that's not all life is. And we all know that. We all truly know that. But we choose to create these ideals in our mind. You know, maybe sometimes it's to protect ourselves. We think we're protecting ourselves when we avoid hardships, avoid anything that will not be easy. Sometimes it's to protect ourselves. And a lot of times it's congrams from the world that have, socialized us. We've been socialized to think friendship and relationships should be easy. Again, the word easy, which is really just confusion. So we must not romanticize things and have expectations, because when those expectations are not met or something does not fit within that realm of easiness and comfortableness that we've created in our minds, that is not reality, we will turn away from that. And when we turn away from hardships, when we turn away from reality, we're basically going deeper into our own insanity, pretty much. When you turn away from reality, you go deeper into your own insanity and deeper into the insanity of the world, unfortunately. But yeah, so we must not over-romanticize things. We must know there's juxtaposition. We must always stay light, but recognize the dark. And know that hard is most of the time simple. You know, the hardest thing we must do is live within the will of God. And that is very, very hard. Simple sentence. Simple. But it is so hard. Live within reality. Simple sentence, but it is so hard. It's much easier to create all these ideals in your mind, scenarios in your mind, expectations in your mind, and kind of you create a little comforting bubble for yourself with those romantic ideals and expectations you have in your mind. It's very comfortable, and outside of that, it's uncomfortable. But where things are uncomfortable is where you can grow. And reality is sometimes uncomfortable. Yeah. I hope we can all stay light while recognizing the dark and knowing to maintain joy, because everything goes towards our growth. I don't believe that any hardship is there to, I don't believe that that's negativity. I believe that's growth, which is always positivity. Going forward, we're always growing forward. So yes, thank you for watching, and I hope this was received well. Guide eye.